Hey guys, welcome to the YouTube video. Today it's going to be a showing off video and a few updates. I got in some new items and I also produced some new items and I got some new stuff in. So, hope you enjoy this video. So let's get started. First is these right here. Two new pieces to my collection. This one right here is a Buck Vanguard. Model not... Whoops, I almost said that wrong. 692. Made in 1992. Great condition. I actually restored this myself. This one came from my brother. He recently acquired this and he instantly knew that I would be interested in it. So me and him worked out a trade and I gave him a knife that he wanted and bought him an Xbox game. And this wasn't in the best shape when I got it. The brass was terribly dinged, as you can still see some of the dings in it. I tried my best to get it out, but I still think it turned out beautiful regardless. And then this one right here, which I'm going to dive into in another video. This is a Buck, well, this is a copy of a Buck 112 Ranger. The sheath is a real Buck sheath, though. And this I recently acquired from my father's collection. And I'll be diving deep into talking about this in another video. But this is a copy. It's not real. And I'll be diving into it in another video. So that I purchased from my father's collection. And then here's some new items I built. Those who remember, I talked about it in a previous video that I was redoing some of my battle axes I had produced. And this is one that I redid. Blued the pipe and brought it back to a really good condition. Because originally each one of these had a all-metal pipe handle and it just really wasn't working properly. So I re-stripped them apart and put a nice wooden handle on them. And blued the pipe so that way it makes them look a little older. And re-stripped all the paint back off of them because I didn't like the way the paint turned out. And some of them I did very differently. This one's got bolts holding the head together. This one is riveted together. Still just as tight. And this is one of a different design I worked on. This one didn't turn out as good as I wanted. I had to pin it multiple times to get the head to stay in place. And still, tight as ever, and it does work. The blade came from an old trowel head. And I simply just reversed it and cut a tang on it and put it in a nice handle. So this is the only one I didn't really repurpose, except for the materials I did. And I used both of the same handle materials for these two. And then this one came from one of those ones I resalvaged. Again, had an all-metal handle. I didn't like the way it turned out, so I redid it. Came out really nice. And this one's riveted as well. Again, all these four are for sale if you are interested in one. Only asking $40 a piece plus shipping. Next is these three. I made these two yesterday. These are some file knives I re-put back together. They were originally already blades, but the handles that I had originally done didn't turn out that good. So I took them apart and left them as blades for now. This is the first one I did. A nice little carving knife. These ain't finished yet, so that's why they're looking like this. And this is a larger one that I made. The aluminum rings right here, this one's from an old survival knife that broke a long time ago, so I reused the rings from the handle. Again, these ain't done yet. And then this is the file knife I was working on. And I finally got it finished. Came out relatively nice. Got a good edge on it. And last but not least is my good buddy who owns a local dump near my area knows that I love not making knives, so he, every once in a while, when I go to dump garbage, he says I can happily go through his scrap and see if I can find anything I can use. Found a couple of nice saw blades. Those I can definitely use. Found a couple of nice American-made lawnmower blades. And I tested one already. I chopped one off to see how hard this material still is, and it's still very hard, so I'm going to anneal all these pieces before working with them. Best thing is they're all American-made, so I cannot wait to make some blades out of those. And I don't know if I ever covered this in a video, but he also gave me these fire poker tools. First is this large fire poker. Not really old. This one's made in Taiwan, but I love how scary it looks because it reminds you of those ones you see in horror movies. And then these were a pair of coal tongs that I modified into blacksmithing tongs. Wrapped the handle in leather and put brand new bolts in them. and I use those when I anneal pieces of metal. Sorry if the camera rotated. Anyway, that's all the stuff I've gotten so far. I look forward to doing another video talking deep about this. And again, if you want to purchase any of these 4 or these 3, they're all for sale. And I look forward to making some knives and axes out of those. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. And as always, stay sharp.